We were not born to be ruled by our fears. We were not shaped by nature to collapse at the sight of hardship. And yet most of us live as if we are made of glass, shattered by words, undone by failure, consumed by what we cannot control. But there is a different path, a path walked by warriors of the soul, a path once trodden by emperors, exiles, and slaves, a way of life that does not promise comfort, only clarity, not safety, but strength. This is Stoicism, and if we have the courage, together we will remember what it means to stand still amidst the storm, to look fate in the eye and say, "You will not break me." 1. The fire within. Why Stoicism still matters. 2,000 years ago, in the chaos of collapsing empires and tyrants, Stoicism was forged in the fire of necessity. It was not a philosophy for the comfortable, it was a survival code for the soul. Today, Massimo Pigliucci, biologist, philosopher, and modern Stoic, reminds us of that ancient fire. In his book, How to Be a Stoic, he doesn't reinvent the wheel, he returns to it, not with arrogance but with humility, with the simple yet profound question, what kind of person do I want to be? That's the question the ancients asked. That's the question we avoid. We ask how to be happy, they asked how to be good. We chase outcomes, they cultivated character. We run from discomfort, they used it as a forge. Massimo Pigliucci revives the voice of Epictetus, the slave-turned philosopher whose chains could not bind his mind. He reawakens Seneca, the statesman forced to die by his emperor's command, and yet who met death with composure. He reminds us of Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king who bore the weight of the Roman Empire and never once allowed that weight to corrupt his soul. What united these men? One belief, that virtue is the only true good, and everything else, wealth, fame, health, even life itself, is indifferent. This is the doctrine we were not raised to follow, but perhaps it is the one we were born to rediscover. 2. The tyranny of emotion and the Stoic answer. We are ruled by emotion, let us not pretend otherwise. Anger controls our voices. Envy poisons our choices. Fear, subtle and seductive, cripples our action and keeps us small. And in our time, emotion has been glorified. We are told to follow our hearts, speak our truth, embrace our chaos. But the Stoics knew the truth. Unexamined emotion is a tyrant in disguise. Epictetus taught, "It is not things that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Pain is real, but suffering is optional. What we tell ourselves about events, that is the battleground." Massimo Pigliucci modernizes this with precision. In a world addicted to reaction, he teaches reflection. He asks us not to suppress emotion, but to interrogate it. When rage burns, we do not feed it, we question it. When anxiety whispers, we do not obey it, we analyze it. When sadness lingers, we do not run, we sit with it and ask, is this within my control? And if the answer is no, the Stoic path is clear. Let it go. This is not indifference. It is radical clarity. We do not numb ourselves, we discipline ourselves, and in that discipline we are made free. 3. The dichotomy of control, our unshakable ground. In a world spiraling with chaos, Stoicism offers an anchor, the dichotomy of control. What is in our power? Our judgments, our actions, our choices. What is not in our power? Everything else. Massimo Pigliucci calls this the most liberating concept in philosophy. And he's right, because once we truly internalize this distinction, we are no longer victims of fortune. We cease to be tossed by every wave of life. We become grounded. Think of Marcus Aurelius, betrayed by friends, struck by plague, surrounded by war, and yet in his meditations, he writes, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He did not write this to us, he wrote it to himself, a reminder, a shield. And that's the secret. Stoicism is not for preaching, it is for practicing. We do not read philosophy to impress others, we read to survive ourselves. 4. Practicing Stoicism, a daily discipline. Philosophy is not for the ivory tower, it is for the battlefield. Massimo Pigliucci urges us to return to philosophy as the ancients lived it, as a daily exercise. So what does a Stoic life look like? Morning reflection. We begin the day not with distraction, but with intention. We ask, what challenges might I face today? What virtues will I need to meet them? Evening review. Like Seneca, we examine ourselves before sleep. What did I do well? Where did I fail? How can I improve? Voluntary discomfort. We deny ourselves small comforts, a cold shower, a skipped meal, a walk in the rain, not for punishment, but to remember we are stronger than we think. We write, we reflect, we prepare for death, not morbidly, but soberly. For as Epictetus said, you are a little soul carrying around a corpse, and that corpse has an expiration date. Each act of discipline is a rebellion against the false self, the emotional self, the weak self, and each small victory becomes the root of tranquility, the ultimate goal of Stoicism. 5. The war within and why we must fight it. We are not fighting the world. We are fighting ourselves, our cowardice, our vanity, our uncontrolled desires. The Stoic does not blame fate, does not curse others. He looks inward, always inward. Massimo Pigliucci echoes Epictetus when he says, "You don't control the external world, you barely control your own mind. Start there." In a world of noise, the Stoic seeks stillness. In a world of outrage, the Stoic cultivates calm. In a world obsessed with identity, the Stoic sheds labels and asks, "Am I living with virtue?" That is the eternal question, not "Am I successful?" not "Am I happy?" but "Am I just, temperate, courageous, wise?" These are not abstract ideals, they are weapons, the only ones that truly matter. 6. Memento mori, the most liberating truth. We are dying. Let that sink in, truly. We are all terminal, and yet we live as if time were infinite, wasting it on distraction, resentment, triviality. But the Stoic does not fear death, he befriends it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This is not dark, this is light. When we remember death, we remember what matters. We strip away illusions, we become present, we become powerful. Memento mori is not a curse, it is the key. It is what wakes us up from the trance of modern life and demands, live now with excellence. The Stoics are not gone, they live in us if we choose to awaken them. Their wisdom is not locked in ancient texts. It is a living code waiting to be practiced. Massimo Pigliucci has opened the door, but we must walk through it. We are not Stoics because we read books. We are Stoics because we rise when it's hard. We endure what we cannot change. We discipline what we can. We serve justice over gain, courage over comfort, wisdom over ego. The world will test us, fate will strike, people will fail us, emotions will rise. But we will remember, we are not victims, we are not puppets, we are not slaves. We are the authors of our character. We are Stoics. Let us live accordingly.